2025 was about rediscovering and exploration. I was really out there. So with that said, on this particular afternoon, I attended a screening at Baraza Media Lab documentary known as Stand Together as One. And
so basically what I do is document such marvelous gatherings and what we're all about, our stories, and this is just an amazing representation. I'm so glad to be here. Just tell us briefly what our viewers can expect in this documentary, and if they'd love to watch it, where can they access it?
So the documentary is on the 40th anniversary of Ethiopian famine, looking at the impact of the famine, the music that came out of it, the songs like Band Aid, We Are the World, the concert Live Aid, and also what impact that made and what difference it made to the world back in the 80s. So that's basically the summary of the documentary. We're trying to have as many private screenings as we can, and hopefully then get a platform to air it. So hopefully it'll come on Netflix at some point soon, but we don't know.
Amazing. And the one thing that I realized is this retelling our stories, especially those that are not so great.
I think conversation is the core of everything. We need to keep talking to each other. There has to come a time when Africa should not need to justify anything, should not need to ask for anything. We should be able to look after ourselves.
Just for our viewers and those especially who do not know exactly what your father did and how instrumental he was in, bringing change to Africa, could you just briefly explain the role of journalists?
Well, I think journalism is the most powerful profession in the world. Of course, every professional says their profession is the best.
Yes.
But journalism, truly, you can change the lives of millions of people. We have such reach as journalists and such responsibility to do good things that it is extremely powerful. And my father was an example of how a story changed history. And, I think we can have many, many more of those. And there's so many talented young African journalists that could tell these incredible stories about our continent. And I think, more power to them. I hope they feel empowered to go out there and do that.
Exactly. In conclusion, where can we access these art exhibition? First of all, and then second of all, how can we access the information that was especially found in your documentary?
The moment our best place would be to come to our archives, and we can, people can have a look around and see what we've got there. And it's opposite Strathmore School. Yeah, but they can, get in touch with us. We're online. We're pretty easy to find. And they're more than welcome to come and visit.
All right. Favorite memory of your father?
I think covering the safari rally. We did a lot of safari rallies
That's
together.
Nice.
So
That's
covering
amazing.
that together.
Thank you so much. This is Culture Redefined, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That was an amazing documentary. My takeaway was that we have the power to save ourselves. If it's documentaries being drafted from journalistic works or our African citizen duty to spread awareness and actively engage in making our communities a much better place. Special thank you to spaces such as the Baraza Media Lab and of course Mohammed Amin Foundation. I'm really excited and looking forward to what they have to offer this 2026. If there's something I love about being Kenyan is our matatu culture. So this random afternoon, as I was just, having a meal outdoors, a fun group of young guys came around with this Nganya edition, and I was so excited to, just see what they were up to. I'm not quite sure what the event was, but it was really exciting to see. Name a country with a more vibrant public transport system. I'll wait. I don't think there is any. But anyway, on a more, serious or rather unfortunate and sad note, this was around the same time we had lost a statesman who had passed away, unfortunately, abroad receiving treatment. And we were just mourning the statesman who had been in active politics, I think from the 80s, if I'm not wrong, fighting for multi-party democracy. And it was a really sad moment for most of us. These were some memes that were doing the rounds online. And one of the ways that we cope as a nation is through humor. I'm not making light of the situation, but it is just a coping mechanism which took us through this terrible moment.
since it's not a political issue, there won't be any issues. Actually, the cops, the police will actually follow the constitution by providing security and all of that. And that's what happened in End Femicide. It was one of the best protests that I've ever. So I went to End Femicide, filmed, and I just had footage, which much later, I was just using footage here and there. Then fast forward, June came. And so when June came, I thought to myself, will we go back to how protests were done from Kitambo, or this is a new way? But I wasn't sure because now the June protests were political. So I wasn't sure if it's gonna be like End Femicide. So on the first day of June, I showed up, shout out to Adagala somewhere here. It's another crazy guy like me. So we went to the streets, and the guys who I was with in February for End Femicide are the same guys in June. So now, for me, I was like, my theory of protests have changed in Kenya in terms of people who show up for protest. Now, for me, that theory was was true. And that's how I ended up filming now the protests in June.
Especially when 6 months ago when they were arrested. Since that time I've been sick. What if I die? Are you going to say that he's doing a good job? I don't know what I can say. Maybe I don't want to say that I'm primitive or that kind of a thing, but as a mother, my firstborn, my only son, I feel it so much. What I can say finally is that I'm praying for him to continue fighting for what he's been doing, but I'm praying for God to change the minds of the government to change so that we can have freedom. Amen.
The idea was to try and deliver a message to the president in a very artistic way and say that you have rejected the finance bill. That was the goal.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was, like I said, breathe. I'm also letting myself breathe because so many feelings have come up.
My babies. Now, to run down the year, or rather close the year, we had an amazing event with our charity known as Nawiri Nami. The group has been in operation for close to a year, actually more than a year now. And we had gone to be with the children, dance, play, just have a beautiful time as we celebrate Sikuku. done. So now the second part, we'll do the magazine cutouts just for more personality in these white spaces, and then the the sticky notes for how to actually achieve our 2026 vision board. So far, nice. We do good. Maria, what is that now? All done. Thank you guys for being a part of our process and vision board, and thank you to Maria, my trusted helper. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. Happy New Year. May all your 2026 dreams and aspirations come true.